I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. There's another paid request, this time for Chaz. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, commentaries, re-reviews, reviews, topics, randomness, reactions, whatever, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for a 1999 film called Made Men, which I had never seen before but I had heard of, because it has James Belushi, who I do like as an actor. I actually grew up with him more than John Belushi, and I like John Belushi in Animal House, Blues Brothers, but I did grow up more with James in K9, Red Heat. Even didn't grow up with it, but I enjoy a film he did with John Ritter called Real Men, The Principal, with Louis Gossett Jr. in him. So yeah, I like James, and he does a great job in this role as, one day his character's name, Bill the Mouth Minucci, who's a guy who's a snitch. He's stolen about $12 million from the mob. At this point, he's hiding away down south with his new wife and settling on things, trying to figure out maybe what to do with this money. And then one day, the mob comes for him. He doesn't know how they found him. And then things kind of take a turn after that. There's a lot of twists and turns, double crosses. I thought, at the very least, the movie went at a decent enough pace, especially after the introduction, about 15 or so minutes. While the action's not grandiose, it's not big, it's decent for a made-for-cable, made-for-HBO movie. There's some shootouts, there's some little mini explosions, some bigger explosions, a car chase or two, but nothing like PM Entertainment back in the day. If you don't know what that is, it was a great company that had, even if it's limited in storylines, they went all out in the action. Check out Jeff Wincott's film Last Man Standing. Check out Jeff Speakman's film Land of the Free, among others. But again, it's more than serviceable. And like I said, it's only 80-some minutes long. I like the cast. Like I mentioned, James Belushi, he fits the role very well. The mouth portion of his character easily fits. He's always trying to talk himself out of situations, or blaming someone else, or turning the tables to get someone else blamed for something he did, and to get people to turn on each other, to look out for himself. It's a role fit for him. Michael Beach is an actor I've seen in other stuff. I liked him as a guy who is one of the bad guys, but maybe he's a good guy, and you're not sure about his alliance. Steve Railsback, who I've seen in quite a few movies. He's here as a hillbilly who also runs a crystal meth lab with his other hillbilly friends. Steve Railsback, he was the star of Life Force, the Tobe Hooper film. He was in this film from the 80s called Blue Monkey. He was on an episode of The X-Files named Dwayne Barry, playing the title character. He's played Ed Gein. probably the best film dealing with Ed Gein is the one he starred in. Maybe. Oh, you also have Timothy Dalton, very, very much playing against type, as a corrupt Southern sheriff. And when I think of Timothy Dalton, I think of James Bond, I think of... what was the... not just James... what was the... Flash Gordon. But it's a very different type of role. He's having a lot of fun with it. He's a lot of fun. I wish he was in the film more. I actually wish he was the primary villain, because I think he was the best of the group villain-wise. But it was nice to see him in there. And it's directed by a guy named Louis Morneau. He's a hit-and-miss director. He did The Hitcher 2, which I absolutely hate. But he also did Bats, which I think is a fun creature feature with Lou Diamond Phillips, Lou Diamond for life, as I say. Bats from 1999, fun film for what it is. He did Carnosaur 2, which I think is a better film than Carnosaur 1. Yes, it's pretty much a low-budget ripoff of Aliens, except xenomorphs, you have dinosaurs, but it's time waster for what it is. Carnosaur 3 is actually my favorite of that series. But Carnosaur 2 I don't mind. Like I said, it's better than the first one. And he did this one, which is, I think, one of his better efforts. Now, apparently, I don't know if this is true, but reading up a little bit of it, apparently this is the history. Joel Silver bought this script as a spec script. It was written by the guys who would later write Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights, among others. And, okay, I got this script. I'm going to get Richard Donner, may he rest in peace, to direct it. He was going to produce it. And it was going to star Bruce Willis in the James Belushi part. And Denzel Washington, I guess, would be the Michael Beach part. The guy is like, is he FBI? Is he a bad guy? Which is he? But I guess Bruce Willis and Denzel Washington, they didn't want to do it. Or they were unsure, so they went off and did The Siege. And then I guess Joel Silver said, hey, how about Mel Gibson and Wesley Snipes? And I guess something didn't work out. The studio said, I don't know about this. And Richard Donner left to do other things. Try to think. This was after Conspiracy Theory. So I don't know if we went off to do Timeline. That might have been the next film he did. I'm not sure. But yeah, Mel Gibson and Wesley Snipes would have worked, as well as Bruce Willis and Denzel Washington. With that cast, I think it would have had like an $85 million budget, an A-list blockbuster movie. But instead, it was like a $6 million independent film. Now, Joel Silver and Richard Donner's names are on the credits as producers, but that might be in name only. Like, they put their name there, but they probably didn't really have much to do with it. Now, again, the film is nothing grandiose in its action. It would have been nice if it had a bit more budget. Or maybe the director does alright with the action. Like, there's shootouts. There's nothing poorly done, as in shaky cam or terrible editing, quick cut editing. You know, there's some mini explosions, some bigger explosions. There's, like I said, a car chase or two. Decent car crash. There's usually a car, if it crashes, it's from like the front. But here it's like crashes and the back goes up first. So that made a little bit of different. Made a little bit more interesting. I mean, considering all the films I see with car crashes and stuff, I see something a little bit different. Which for most people would be like, who cares? But again, to repeat one last time, it's nice to see something a little bit different. And like I said, when it gets going, it doesn't... It's pretty much a chase movie. Either again to steal Real Bass Crystal Meth Lab with his hillbillies, or Belushi and Michael Beach trying to work with each other but not trusting each other. Belushi trying to turn the tables, you know, try to save his own skin and turn people on against each other. And like I said, there's a lot of shifting alliances. Some people might be annoyed by that. I didn't know much about this film. I knew the title, I knew the cast, but I had never seen the film before. So that was actually kind of fun for me, because whether you think it was ridiculous or it didn't make sense, it kept it interesting for me, where I didn't quite know where it was going and what was going to happen next. And that was fun. That was kind of the fun of the matter. Fun of the matter, not manner. Manner. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Because for a made-for-HBO film, you do a lot worse. And it's not anything remarkable, but it's at the very least a decent time waster. There are times where the director tries to... Maybe he thought he was trying to do a bit more style. Like, the very first scene is someone talking about, you gotta be honest, my mom told me that you're gonna be an honest man one day. And the camera's being... They mess around with the focus and doing a turn as a person standing there, and the screen is... I don't know if it's trying to be, like, squished or just trying to be a bit artsy, and it didn't quite work out. It seems more like if an episode of a TV show is trying to be artsy, but again, they don't have the budget. And the director hasn't really done a lot of action films. I mean, the films I mentioned are more horror. Hitcher 2, Bats, Joyride 2 he did, Carnosaur 2. He's not really done a lot of flat-out action. And maybe if you had a director who... I mean, he came out after this, but Isaac Florentine, or if you had the guy who did The Tournament, the guy who did Heist with Batista and Robert De Niro. I forgot his name. Scott, is it Scott Mann, or... Yeah, a director who's just more familiar. Maybe things would be a bit more smoothed out. But again, Timothy Dalton, like I said, he's having a lot of fun. The dialogue at times made me chuckle. And Belushi definitely had a lot of exuberance and energy, opposite of sleepwalking. They did more into spoilers starting now. Like I said, he's in the South, Belushi. Bad guys come. He doesn't know how they got there. They put him in this van. And just Belushi, how he talks shit about people. Well, you got this guy? He couldn't handle his dick if it was welded to his hand. Or when some guys leave and some guys stay, Belushi tells the two people, hey, I got $12 million. You didn't know that, right? That's how much money it was? I'll split with you guys. And then when the other people come in, see, they were okay with me offering the money that he said he was going to kill you. And the guy's like, what are you talking about? No, I didn't. So that's what I mean. It was fun to have Belushi play that kind of role. And I didn't. When I wondered is, I never thought I'd see Steve Rebels back as a hillbilly with a crystal meth lab. Or as the dialogue says, Mod Squad meets Deliverance. And like, the shootouts are fine, but it's nothing remarkable. Again, there's nice mini explosions done practically. Belushi talking shit. I've had after dinner mints that were smarter than you. And Timothy Dalton, like, there's a guy who after a car crash he's trapped, and Dalton wants some answers, and so again, dying for a Marlboro. He puts in a cigarette. Ooh, that first drag, pulling that smoke to your lungs and holding it in tight like some little thing on prom night. Yeah, being a fan of Timothy Dalton, I haven't played a character like this. I wish he was the main villain. Steve Roseback is okay, but he kind of becomes the main villain at the end, and I wish that was switched around. Because I like Steve Roseback, but Timothy Dalton I thought just had a lot more of a fun charisma to his villain that I wanted to see much more of this. This guy seemed like the more interesting bad guy. As I said, Michael Beach, I know I've seen him in stuff, but I can't think of the titles in my mind, what I've seen him in, but Michael Beach I didn't mind as an actor in this movie. I see he's with the bad guys, then he's with the FBI. I had to be undercover. And they worked fairly well together. I'm guessing that info earlier is true because there is a Denzel reference. Because when they go into her shop, Belushi knows the cashier and calls Michael Beach Denzel. And he even gets the old lady to turn a gun on him. He tried to kidnap me. See? He tried to kidnap me, okay? He's dangerous. He's from the urban. I think this Belushi just tried to save his own ass. And extra spoilers. What I mean by all the twists and turns, I mean, Michael Beach, you think he's a villain, but he's with the FBI. Timothy Dalton knows a little bit what's going on, and then you find out that he's working with Belushi's new wife, played by Vanessa Angel. And Dalton is with her, and she's the one who called the bad guys down. And then Dalton shoots her in the fucking face, which I thought was pretty brutal. I mean, it's not Maniac style, but it's just a... As I didn't quite expect that. But then Michael Beach shoots him, and I'm like, I wish he wasn't gone so quick. And then Steve Railsback's boys come down, and there's a big shootout. Even the take down the bad guys was kind of meh. And that's what I mean. A bigger budget would have made these things grandiose. Because what I mean by that is, like, Timothy Dalton's ready to shoot Belushi. Michael Beach comes in, shoots him, Timothy Dalton in the back. Okay, not really anything exciting or thrilling or tremendous about that. And then almost the same thing happens to Steve Railsback. Steve Railsback's ready to shoot James Belushi. Michael Beach shoots him in the back. I'm like, this is the same death scene repeated, and there's nothing like... I mean, you think of action films, okay, look at the way bad guys die in this movie. Arnold Vosloo, Van Damme goes out the window, puts like 85 bullets in Arnold Vosloo's character, and then Lance Henriksen beats him up, grenade down in his pants, hunting season is over. Again, each one like this, even Lethal Weapon, I mentioned Richard Donner, who directed Lethal Weapon. You have Danny Glover doing the crack, hitting the right shot, the car careens, gets hit by the fucking bus, car explodes, that bad guy's down, and then Riz fist fight with Gary Busey, then they both shoot Gary Busey. There's more uniqueness and stuff about it, whether it be the spectacle, whether it be about utilizing character moments like Ribs and Murtaugh helping each other to shoot Gary Busey at the same time, use of slow-mo. There's really nothing of note directing-wise, and that's what I mean. Yes, it's a low-budget film, but maybe a director could look at this and go, well, let's have a more spectacular death, a more creative death for these villains. Or, okay, if Michael Beach shoots Timothy Dalton, let James Belushi shoot Steve Railsback. So Michael Beach saves Belushi. Now Belushi sees Michael Beach. So that's what I mean. It kind of comes off as a bit empty, and that's where the low budgetness shows, and that kind of lack of creativity in those venues, at least to me. But again, last time to say it, is spoilers. It is on YouTube for free, but they edited it weirdly. So, like, Made Men 1999 is on YouTube, but it says like it's 2 hours. It's not. I think the guy just did where it's an hour and like 26 minutes. As soon as the end credits start, the movie begins again. And maybe the guy did that to try to hide the copyright. So technically it's up, but it is like an hour and 20 some minutes, and then as soon as the end credits start, the movie begins again. So for those who want to see it, it's for free on YouTube. And it's fun for what it is. I was like, twists and turns, you find out that Michael Beach, he's not an FBI guy. He is the secret bid boss bad guy who Belushi's been talking from time to time, that he used to know this guy. He could never talk to this guy, meet this guy, but he had a lot of years with them. Belushi tricks his ass. Belushi gets shot up, but he survives. He gets some money, and Belushi gets away scot-free. So, and let's remember, I was talking about the direction, even at the very beginning and almost the very end, when Michael Beach, Belushi told him this location, there's nothing there, and the way, like, the camera's circling, I don't know if it's the angles or something to do with the photo, just something about it screams trying to be artsy for a TV episode, not so much, or like direct-to-video film. So like I say, it's a decent, fun time waster where for the most part I like the cast. That's why I enjoyed the film. Like I said, some of the pieces of dialogue, the twists and turns were fun for me, no matter how ridiculous they got. The action was fine, but not spectacular. And I do kind of wish a different director, like Steve Wayne, who directed Drive, or Martha Costumes. I have the Blu-ray right there. Like if Steve Wayne, or if it's a direct-to-video film, but even if Richard Donner took a crack at it, if some other director, Stephen Hopkins, if someone else did, I would have been a bit more curious. Again, that's just me. But overall, not a bad film. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.